My name is Jules. I'm CEO of LOTUS. We're a PR, communications and marketing company representing the world's most exciting destinations, travel, tourism and hospitality brands. We have offices in London, New York, Paris, Singapore and Riyadh, so we provide a truly global service that really increases reach, awareness and drives visitation and growth for our clients. Thank you for having me here today. I think we have a very exciting session ahead, and I'm delighted to have with me Bhagya Mahavithanage, who is the Deputy Director of the Investor Relations Unit for the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. Welcome, Bhagya. Thank you for joining us. So we're really looking at investing and how this makes an incredible opportunity for people. But first of all, I want to come on to Sri Lanka is such an incredible destination. You really have everything. You have wonderful scenery, wildlife, an island nation, so fantastic coastline, food, heritage and culture, and you're located within an 8-hour flight of 50% of the world's population. How do you really drill down and define what kind of tourists you want?
Thank you for having me here, Jules, and it's very exciting to be at FHS Dubai with my team from Sri Lanka. After having recovered from several shocks in the sector, we are back on track and it's right time to go ahead. So to answer your first question, to start with, so Sri Lanka is a island destination with a beautiful coastline of more than 1,300 kilometers. And also we have mountains with about 8,000 feet above the sea level, from where over 300 waterfalls are cascading. And we have about 30% of forest coverage and more than 25 forest reserves and wildlife reserves. We have everything. It's all-in-one capsule. So with that, we understand the fact that that's the strength that we have. So that's why we are on the top of the tourism map in the world. So we are very conscious about how to have the economic development with a balance with sustainable development. So that it's very important to have the right products and right infrastructure and right experience for the right tourists. So what we are trying to attract is the conscious tourists who can make a positive impact on our environment and our society.
And I know that as part of your strategy, you've really defined pillars which will help you attract and target those conscious tourists. So whether that's yoga, surfing, wellness, heritage, are these pillars very important to you and how you attract tourists and also investors?
Yeah, these pillars that you mentioned are the unique selling points of our destination. So definitely those are the untapped potential for investors as well. So we are ready with the guidelines and criteria which are relevant for specific for each of these sectors and pillars, so that we are confident that we can guide and facilitate all those investors who are coming specifically for those products and experiences. But we don't have any restrictions. We invite any type of investment to the country. But these are the things that we encourage more because we have our indigenous medicine, our own medicine. And also, as I mentioned, Sri Lanka is the destination with highest biodiversity density in whole Asia. So that's our potential. So the wildlife is on top of that, and also adventure sports like surfing. We have the best surfing spots in the eastern coast of Sri Lanka. It's one of some of the best in the world. So these are the unique selling points, and we are ready to facilitate investment for any of those sectors.
And you touched on some of how you welcome these investors, but presumably you've had to set out a strategy for preparedness for those investors and also broken down any challenges for them?
Yeah. Definitely. See, when the destination becomes sensitive, it's a challenge to go for development. So that what we are trying to do is to take the burden from the investor to go through the approvals, because there's a well-set regulatory framework in Sri Lanka. I think that is which is required to conserve the environment and the social sensitivities. But for an investor's eye, it can be like seen as a negative thing because it takes time and a lot of red tapes kind of, but we, as the investor relations unit, it's a dedicated unit established in the tourism, Sri Lanka tourism government entity. So we are ready to take the burden out of the investor and take them through the entire approval process, and also to give them guidance on where to invest and how to invest and how to get it from the scratch, like from the beginning, from the proposal level up to the point the project is successfully implemented. So we are confident. I
think that sounds like a really robust process because it's protecting the environment whilst making it easier for the investor, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes there have been challenges with investing in certain destinations in terms of accessing the land and land purchasing. How do you break down those barriers?
Yeah, definitely there are barriers when trying to find the desired land for an investment. So we saw this bottleneck since a couple of years, and we worked out a strategy to compile an inventory of lands, cleared lands. So prior to the investor comes, we have gone through all the processes and cleared the lands, and we have visited the sites and made sure that they are suitable for tourism investments. All that is done, and those are all now uploaded into a searchable database, so that the investors have the privilege of selecting their own land for the investments. So that's the land bank that we have.
The land bank sounds like an incredibly efficient system. We touched on the natural assets of the island and how important biodiversity, the wildlife, the scenery is to the tourism offering. How are you managing to balance the preservation of that environment and the protection of it alongside what is quite a kind of robust strategic investment plan?
Yeah, for that we have worked out a guideline for development. There are different development guidelines and criteria, as well as we have developed a design guideline, which gives specific idea to the investor on what platforms, within which framework they have to work towards designing a proposal for us. So that, because then they did not to change their plans in the middle of the way. So everything is well set, and we provide guidance, and we work very closely with about 40 government agencies, ministries and departments. So we have signed MOUs with all of them with specific timelines. We have a single window mechanism to get approvals and give approvals to the projects. Yeah.
So I suppose the process is very rigorous and strict, and presumably you're also looking to attract people who have a track record in environmental and sustainable development and investment as well.
Yeah, we have. We can think of a couple of projects specifically as a product. A very recently developed one experience. Actually, it's a tourist experience. You must have heard of the Pico Trail.
Yes.
It's a 300-kilometer walk trail, which is developed across the tea estates in the hill country, which is a beautiful product, and it connects village with another village. So it starts from one village and go through the trail, and it ends in another village where the visitor gets the experience, the engaged, memorable experience with the local community, and then the local communities, they get the benefit out of that product. So that's the sustainable product that we have developed. So, so similarly, there are many things that we can do. It's an untapped potential yet, so that we invite the investors to come up with such experiences as well. And there was another project where they have developed a floating resort on an artificially built lake. That artificially built lake is a abandoned clay mining pits, which was a menace to the environment and also the health with breeding mosquitoes and all. But later they made it a beautiful lake and did a floating cabana, and with organic farming, 100% organic farming, so it's 100% sustainable projects. So there are certain innovative projects like that which we have facilitated. So we have a lot of experiences. So far we have handled more than 1,200 projects with a total value of about $8 billion since 2010. Yeah.
Fantastic, and really positive to hear that the local communities are benefiting from this investment, and that the investment is very much about involving the local communities in those projects as well. I think, having been to Sri Lanka, one of the things that I enjoyed most about it was the people and the warmth of the people. So having projects that make sure tourists and the locals can interact is really important, isn't it? Are there any questions for Bhagya? I'm aware we're coming up to time, but we've got time for 1 or 2 questions if there are any. If not, I will carry on. Great. So you've recently had a new government announced. How will that impact the tourism strategy? Do you have any insight on that yet?
Yeah, we had our presidential election a couple of weeks ago, and we have a new president elected. We are very much positive about it because the new government also has identified tourism as a key sector that can strengthen our economy. So they have put forward their policy as well. So that doesn't. Tourism is actually independent in our country, I would say, not much influenced by the political setup. So that I think there's no taboo. We are very confident that we can go forward with the new government. They are very supportive, and they'll be with their policies. We can go ahead.
Fantastic to hear that they're prioritising tourism.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Well, I believe we're up to time now, so just like to say thank you very much to Bhagya for explaining so insightfully about the investment and the tourism strategy for Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you.